Second episode, ladies and gentlemen. Hi, welcome to Premiere Reviews. I'm Gabe,
And I'm Will.
and we are the guys who run this thing. I don't know. I don't really know our intro. We haven't set that out yet. We don't know our relationship with our audience yet. So this is fun, figuring this out. We're happy to have you all back. Those of you who decided to stay, and those of you who skipped the ads on our YouTube video. But
yeah, those of you who have actually returned after watching the first episode, and those of you who
finished that first episode as well.
Yes, and those of you who may be your first episode, and if it is, I would recommend going back and watching the first one.
Yeah, that one was really good. We did really good on that. I don't want to toot our own horn, but let me toot our own horn here.
It was okay for our
our first episode.
Yeah.
We've heard. We have received some feedback, and so we have heard you, and we're hoping to change things just a wee bit on how we're doing them, and we're hoping that that's an improvement. So
hopefully.
Our film this week is Cry Macho. New Clint Eastwood movie. Dude's like, how old now?
91, I think.
91 years old. Oh my God.
Yes. Before we on that topic, before we delve too much into the rest, I would just like to say, when I was watching this film, I was extremely terrified every time he would move, that he would break something on his body because...
Here's the thing, right? Like and I have also a note on that, but we'll get into that.
Okay. Yeah.
But everyone's like, "Oh, dude, this is gonna be Clint Eastwood's last movie." Did you hear? Like, he's so old. This is gonna be his last movie. They said the same thing about American Sniper. They said the same thing about The Mule. They've said now about Cry Macho. That dude is gonna make like 38 more films, just like he did back in the day of the spaghetti western, just to spite us. Just out of spite. Like, that isn't a declaration of the quality of those films yet. But, like, he's not going to do it because he wants to. He's going to do it because everyone keeps saying this will be his last one. He wants to prove them wrong.
Right.
So.
Not that he actually has to, but just because he's like, you know what? I think I have to.
Yeah, they say that I can't, so I have to.
Yeah.
So, which is the most Western attitude I think I've ever come across. Just everyone thinks that you can't, so you do.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we're gonna go ahead and just hop right into it, I think. So
yeah, so I can start off kind of talking a little bit first about what the film is about, kind of the premise and the plot. This are spoilers if you haven't seen it already. I think it came out September 17th.
Yeah.
So it's been out for a few weeks now. So if you haven't seen it yet, and you don't want to, hear too much about it,
this is your one warning.
Yes, the one warning.
We will give you 30. No, that's too long. We'll give you 5 seconds to switch off if you haven't seen it, or if you don't care, then you can just stick around.
Yes. So
all right, we're good. Go
yeah. Okay. So the film is about a retired rodeo gentleman, basically, and he's...
You wanted to say clown. I could see you wanted to say clown.
A retired rodeo clown. Yes, in this film, Clint Eastwood plays a retired rodeo clown with... No. He's a retired rodeo personnel, and he works for his kind of like his old boss. He was kind of hired by his old boss even after he retired, to kind of help out with the current rodeo, to help out with the animals and things like that. So the premise of the film is that his boss hires Clint Eastwood's character to Mike, yeah, to go to Mexico and pick up his boss's, or to pick up his son, the boss's son. So
it should be mentioned the son's in Mexico because the son is Mexican. He had the baby with the woman who lives in Mexico.
Right.
It's not like he got trapped behind the border thing.
Yes, and we can go in. There's some premise issues with that, but we can go into that more later. But Clint Eastwood's character Mike is sent to Mexico to pick up his boss's kid, and there's a lot of conflicts that kind of happen in Mexico. I won't say too much about it. without giving too much away, but that's kind of the basic premise that things kind of happen in Mexico, and he has to find the kid and get him back to Texas. They're from Texas. So that's kind of the premise of the film, short premise. And it was actually, the movie was based off of a 1975 novel of the same name, Cry Macho, and it was written by Richard Nash. So that was kind of interesting that they
that's a name that I've heard before, and I know he's an author.
Yeah.
That's about it. I know I've seen him at Barnes and Noble once or twice.
Right.
Not him,
but his books, yeah. So he wrote the 1975 novel, and I guess from what I had read that the film, or they tried to make a film adaptation previously and I thought Arnold Schwarzenegger was involved with it somehow. I'm not this.
Could you imagine Arnold Schwarzenegger the cowboy? Oh my god, I can't even quote any of the lines in that accent because I know I'm just gonna die of laughter.
Yeah, I was thinking about trying it too, but I'm not. That would just be bad.
Yeah, that would be in bad taste. In case there's any Germans watching this podcast, we don't want a East Bavarian accent poorly done.
Yes. All right. So to move a little bit more into some of the production technical aspects. So the films starred mainly Clint Eastwood and Eduardo Minett, or I think it's Minett. Yes. If you watched the last episode, I am horrible at pronouncing names, apparently. But yeah. So those were the two main stars of the film. It was directed by Clint Eastwood as well, and the cinematographer was Ben Davis, and the music was done by Mark Mancini. And if you don't know Mark Mancini, he's done a lot of good, scores and stuff. Actually, one of the things I saw that he worked on was Moana. I thought he did a really good job with Moana too. Yeah, I did too. I wasn't totally sure what role he had in Moana, or what role in the music production he had in Moana, but it was good. The music was really good. So the budget for this film was $33 million, and the box office was $9.9 million.
Yeah.
So,
although I here's what I will say about that, the box office numbers being so low. It was a movie that was also released on streaming, and we know they don't perform nearly as well when they're on streaming and theaters than if they're so box office numbers are going to be different for different reasons. I can explain that on a little mini episode one day, why that would be preferable to have a lower box office performance. But so there's that, and also in the age of COVID, in these trying times, trademark, movies just have not been performing nearly as well as they have been. So I'm not going to say definitively whether that is a result of those factors,
right, or
if it's a result of the movie being what it is.
Right. And that was actually something. So the whole HBO Max controversy, it really is kind of a controversy over this past year and a half, because they've been releasing their new films, at the same time. Yeah,
Warner Brothers is what the way that I had it explained to me is HBO Max is just Warner Bros. Plus.
Basically,
here's the thing: if they had promoted it like that when they were first, promoting the thing, more people would have gotten it right off the bat, because that's what it is. It's just HBO. It costs nothing more than what you already pay for HBO, and also you get the Warner Brothers collection. So I don't know. HBO Max aggravates me in that way, in that it didn't capitalize on something that it so clearly had.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that.
So if you were confused as to what HBO Max is over HBO, get HBO Max. You literally get it for free if you have HBO, and you just get new movies and everything that Warner Brothers has done. So
Right, and that being said, I would recommend, if you're able to support
yeah,
your theaters and stuff, because I know a lot of people who watch the new films on streaming, and I think that not to talk bad about all that, but I would recommend going to see things in the theater.
I work for a movie theater, so if you could please
Yeah,
ensure that I'm still employed.
Yes. Yeah, see the films like they're meant to be seen, and that's on the big screen, I would say. All right, so we got a little sidetrack.
Yeah, sidetrack. That was a little mini. We can make we'll put a little card in there. It's like tangent for 8 minutes.
So anyway, okay, so that's the technical production aspects of the film. So I think I'll go ahead and hand it over to you, Gabe, and you can kind of talk a little bit about your opinion of it, kind of what you think, and I can jump in a little bit and talk about my opinion as well.
So, I appreciate that. Something that. So here's the thing about Clint Eastwood, right? He got his start in the Westerns. Like, that's where he had his big start. Everyone knows Clint Eastwood from his old Westerns. Way, way back in the day. And I can say that Cry Macho definitely harkens back to a much earlier style of filmmaking, before the invention of things such as directing and writing had come to film. And so the film very much reflects that. The acting is like all over the place. Some of the performances are good. I thought the boss had one of the weaker performances. The first scene, I legit could not. I was like, this actor is either a genius or just he has no direction. Because it's like, just like, I don't know what you want me to do, Mike. You will? Thank you, Mike. I knew I could count on you. And that's how he delivers it. There's no real inflection in there. And you could tell it's because Clint Eastwood did like the old man thing, where it's like yeah, no, that's good. Like they have that little like creak in their voice right beforehand.
And I don't know if that was a character choice or if that was just Clint Eastwood,
Yeah.
just Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, exactly. And so like that was also Clint Eastwood's improv skill. Like, okay, you're gonna hear these words a lot: jerk off, shit, son of a bitch. Oh yeah, and Jesus Christ. Those ones he says like all the time. It's just shit, jeez Christ. Like it's just all the time. He said there's one scene where they're pulled over by the federales. Because they're looking, they think that they might have drugs on them. So they're pulled over by the federales. And the entire time, Clint Eastwood spends basically the entire scene saying one of those 4 words. Just the whole time. That's all that he says. And it's like very clear that there was supposed to be stuff. But he has like no emotion behind it. It's just like, jeez Christ, did you jerk offs? Like, that's it. And he just does that for 4 minutes. That scene goes on for like 4 whole minutes of just Clint Eastwood calling cops jerk-offs. So that's
it's kind of sad, but it's true. I
hope this isn't Clint Eastwood's last film. That's what I'll say, because oh my God, I loved some of his earlier stuff, Good, Bad, and the Ugly. Fistful of Dollars, stuff like that. And so I want him to end on a higher note.
Even, the film that came out a few years ago, it's actually been a while now, Gran Torino, I think. Yeah, that was actually a very well done film.
I actually haven't seen it.
I recommend that one, but we can talk about the
next episode.
But yeah, So and I can just kind of jump in and talk a little bit about kind of my opinions real fast, and then we can go.
Well, don't go fast. Well, I had so much time. What do you want?
Anyway, so yeah, I agree with Gabe about the writing here, or the acting, because he said that like the first scene. Just right off the bat, I was sitting there. I was like, "What is this writing, or is it Is it poor acting?"
Yeah. Okay. And I will say, so I don't want to cut in because you just
no. Go ahead.
But legit, like, it's such an exposition dump right off the bat, where it's just like he's looking at it and he goes, "Who else took you in, Mike? After the drinking and the pill?" And it's like, it was just so it wasn't necessary. They just explained, that he was in recovery from drinking and from doing pills and stuff, and that he didn't used to be the cowboy that he used to be. All of that gets shown like in the next scene, just during a transition where it's like going across his wall of accomplishments, and then shows that he got his back broken by a rodeo horse, and that's all that you needed to show. That's it. You didn't need this whole 5-minute scene showing him getting fired, because then it puts them on bad terms, only for him to spend the rest of the movie pretending like this dude's his best friend.
Yeah. Yeah. There was just a lot.
Yeah.
To unpack in that first scene, but it's kind of throughout the whole film, the writing was not the best. Yeah. I will say that it did get a little bit more tolerable, kind of midway, more toward the end actually.
Yeah.
And that could be in part to they kind of changed the story a little bit. so I will kind of talk a little bit now. I know we said that we would only give one warning for spoilers, but here's another warning. So
oh my god, now we're hypocrites. Ignore that
hypocrites.
warning. If you didn't leave the first time, you don't deserve to be here. You deserve to have this movie spoiled.
Yeah, he's right.
All right, here's what I'll say though. Everyone deserves to have this movie spoiled. Don't go see it.
I mean, unless you, if you want to make this, if you want to make your own opinion about the film, I would say go ahead and watch it. Yeah. Don't we can give our opinion, but
that's the thing that I've always said. People will watch a YouTube video about a movie that they haven't seen and be like, "Oh yeah, that movie sucked," and then they'll just outline exactly what the other people said about it, as opposed to just
right.
I mean, if it's not a film that interests you, then don't go watch it.
Right.
But I would never declare my opinion on something that I haven't seen.
Yeah. Not based off of someone. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. I don't want to to.
Yeah, we don't want to push you in either direction. But if you disagree with us,
yes. I lost my train of thought here.
We talked about the writing, how the story departed at the ending.
Yeah. So about halfway through the film, Clint Eastwood's character Mike and the kid, I actually can't remember that character's name. But
the chicken was named Macho.
Yeah, the Clint Eastwood kept calling the chicken in quotation marks macho, or he kept calling it a chicken, but it was actually a rooster. And for some reason, they really fixated on that throughout the film. The kid was like, "No, he's a rooster, not a chicken."
Yeah, and his name is Macho.
And it's Macho, yeah.
Yeah. Also, that the kid's delivery, everyone's delivery was off, basically the entire time.
And that's what kind of tells me it probably is leaning more toward just kind of poor. Well, I was gonna say poor writing, but also direction.
Yeah, I don't know, because some of the lines I was like, okay, yeah, that could have been good if delivered with the right incantation, but
yeah.
No, just everyone's delivery was off all the time, and I don't know. So I think it's a combination of poor writing and directing. If it was just a few of the actors didn't do that good of it, but it was every single actor had iffy performances. The best performance was probably the mother, the mother with the mansion.
Oh,
hers.
Yeah.
If you want to see
but
a 28-year-old woman seduce Clint Eastwood, watch this movie. It's got. Let me tell you, it's got the perfect scene for you.
Yeah, and that was something that was out of left.
Out of left field. There was no reason. There was no reason for it.
So the boy's mother lives in Mexico, and she's a little. I guess we're supposed to assume that she could be like I don't know, but she lives in this huge mansion, and Clint Eastwood goes to the mansion first to try and find the boy, and she totally tries to seduce him and everything.
Yeah, she tries to seduce him, tries to get him to drink with her.
But it was like out of nowhere. Like
yeah, it made no sense. And I don't know. I didn't. So it, like I said, it's comedy. The ending too. That tips me off that also writing was not. Cause
yeah. So they built this whole thing up, and I don't know how to explain it without totally giving things away.
So third spoiler warning. Now.
Yeah. So they talk about how the dad only wanted the kid basically as leverage to get money from the mother. And Clint Eastwood, finds it out halfway through the film that was the dad's intentions the whole time, and then Clint Eastwood tells the kid that was actually why his father wanted him. And they go through maybe 5 minutes of of
humming and hawing and you lied to me.
Yeah.
Well, it was more like you lied to me.
Yeah.
And then that was basically the extent.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they ultimately ended up taking the kid to
the kid ends
the
up
father.
And here's the thing: they built up a love interest for the kid too.
Yeah.
That was in Mexico. Mike chooses to stay.
Yeah.
Okay. Fourth spoiler warning, I guess.
Yeah.
After, it's like you get the nuke warning, after everything's hit.
We've given him plenty of.
At this point, you deserve it. But Mike chooses to stay because he falls in love with a woman down there who had helped them, and so they spend some time there. And so Mike, Clint Eastwood's character, falls in love with with the mother, who is a widow, and then the boy. I don't know why I can't remember his name. The boy. That's what it's the mark of a film when you don't remember any of their characters. If you can, without IMDbing or Googling this, if you can tell me two characters from the movie Avatar, one of the highest grossing films of all time. Will, can you do that right now? Can you name two characters from Avatar? James Cameron.
No, but I think, what is it, Sigourney Weaver is in it, right?
Yeah, but you don't know a character.
I don't know
you
the
don't
characters.
know a dang character.
No, I don't.
But then the kid, despite 10 minutes ago, been so frustrated that his dad just wanted him for leverage and lied to him, and because his whole thing is that he can't trust anybody. He's like, I still want to go to Texas. And so they just let him go to Texas, and then Mike doesn't argue with him or anything. He just is like, all right, cool. And then he goes back and settles down with the Mexican woman. And I thought, wow, that's a really good ending for Mike. What is that?
Yeah, the kid is basically in hell now.
Yeah,
because he's in the middle of a lawsuit and everything. I don't know. Yeah. It was the ending
theme.
Was messy.
The theme to me basically came up with even the worst life in America is better than the best life in Mexico. That's what it came across as.
Oh yeah, I don't know, but I know we've been kind of nagging on it a lot, and I mean I will say a couple at least more positive things about it. Maybe two things, but the scenery and the cinematography that was actually really beautiful. Because they were, they traveled. I don't think that they actually, of course they didn't actually film it in Mexico, but it was kind of, they captured the classic Western image. When you look at the sunsets, the desert, the color was very present through the film. And I think that was really effective, and I will say it was actually really beautiful to watch it.
Yeah. Also on the, it's not so it takes place in the 70s or something like that.
Yeah, 78 I think.
Yeah, 78, and so but it also doesn't do the modern thing of films where it's we're in Mexico now, orange tint.
Yeah,
it feels just it just feels like a place. And it I don't know, like you said, scenery and shots were just beautiful.
Yeah, it really was. It really was beautiful. And if you were to watch it, I would say, I would say watch it for that, because
get some wallpapers for your computer.
Yeah. Because Clint Eastwood still looks like a cowboy in it, so you can.
He looks surprisingly well. If you look at his hands, you get really concerned, he's gonna fall down. Yeah. But that's the other. I keep jumping on this. There's scenes where Clint Eastwood beats people up in this movie.
Yeah.
it does not look like Clint Eastwood is beating anybody up in this movie. It's really just like, and it looks terrible. It just looks terrible. He's too old. He's too old for that.
Well, there's also
get a body double.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and there's also a scene where he's supposed to be riding a wild horse, trying to break it. And after watching him walk around the entire
I don't
film,
believe it. I don't believe
it's very obvious that that's not him on the horse.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was one of the other things that I will speak good or speak not highly about, but I will say that the film did get a little better. There was a time in the film where it actually had substance, and that was, I think, basically like the whole middle section.
Yeah.
Because the kid and Mike, Clint Eastwood's character, they go to this town where they meet this woman, Marta. Yeah. And that whole part of the film was actually really cool. And for some reason, I thought that the dialogue was a little better there.
I wholeheartedly agree. Like, it started when they stop at the shrine to the Virgin Mary.
Yeah.
That's where I was like, okay, this film took a while to get off, but wow, this is actually pretty good. And then it goes through, and then it gets a little iffy near the end of that, and then it just falls apart at the end after they fully leave.
Yeah, I agree with that. So, I don't know I think that if you were to watch it, keep that in mind, that at the beginning and the end are pretty rough, to be completely honest. But there is hidden in there in the middle there is actually a very beautiful film when you really kind of think about it.
And here's what I work at a movie theater, and one of the things that I love, I'm a really friendly door guy. I love talking to people about movies whenever they walk out, and so I ask basically everyone who walks out as they pass me, like, what do you think? How was it? And everyone who's gone to see Cry Macho in the theaters is old.
Yeah.
Which, that's just sort of the target audience. It's Clint Eastwood and also a movie theater. They don't want to handle, streaming and stuff. And all of them, every single one of them, I did not get a single bad review for it. Every single one of them says slow but good. And so if you want to take their word for it, because we're film majors, we sort of pick apart and analyze things. So if you weren't like that, or if you can just sort of accept movies just as they are, then yeah, this movie is probably gonna be good to you. And that's not like you have poor taste. It's just that it gives you about what you need. It's slow but good, especially in the middle.
Yeah, and that's a good thing to say. We tend to, like, not overanalyze, but we do like to be a little bit more critical about films, and I think that that's just because we might know what to look for a little bit more sometimes. But even Gabe and I disagree on things sometimes.
Yeah. The most frustrating thing that Will has ever said to me was like, I was I forget what movie we even talked about, but we were talking about a movie, and I very much did not like it, and so. And this isn't just like you've made this. It's like everyone makes this argument all the time where it's like, well, then you make a movie. No, it's not my job to make the movie good. It's their job to make the movie good. If it wasn't good, I'm not going to keep my mouth shut about it. Like, that's the dumbest argument that you can make. Never, ever say, well, no one understands how hard it is to make a movie. The other guy's got it right. What? I can point you in the direction of 1,000 good movies. It's you can't just say, "Oh, well, you've never made one in your life." That's not. It's my job to be critical of the movie. You gave it to me. I'll tell you if it's good or not. It's such a dumb argument.
I've made that.
Yeah, you've made that argument to me.
I've made that argument.
Anyway, so this is how I get to call Will an idiot on camera, and he's gonna do some stuff in post to make me sound like a complete jerk.
Yeah. I'm gonna.
If I haven't already, if I end up coming out of this sounding like a jerk, it wasn't because I was a jerk this whole time. Will edited everything. He's really good at it.
I can neither confirm nor deny that statement. But well, all right. I think we pretty much covered everything for this film. At least I think so. I don't.
No, we're good.
Okay.
But
Well, just thank you for joining us again for this episode. I think next week we are going to be talking about a classic 1980 film called Airplane.
Yep.
So
next week, same shirts.
yes, yeah.
Don't look into it. We're really good at laundry. We keep right on top of it.
But yes, so please come back for that episode.
Please come back.
Yes, please come back.
We need you.
We too. But yes, thank you for joining us again today. I'm Will.
I'm Gabe.
And this was Premiere Reviews. So thank you.